Right, so I like to say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to the brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. So we're going to get straight into it. So the first scripture I'm going to grab, Salakia, bear with me for a second here. It's Deuteronomy 32 and 41. And the scripture says, Salakia, bear with me. Bear with me for a second here. Right. So Deuteronomy 32 and 41. So it says, if I whet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies and will will reward them that hate me. And this is what the Lord is preparing, right? The Lord is preparing that destruction. And the sword represents many things. The sword can represent famine. The sword can represent the modern day gun. The sword can even represent the wicked, being Esau, Edom. When you go back into Psalms 17 chapter, Psalms the 17th chapter, right? So it could represent many things. But here, the Lord is talking about what? The arrows, right? The arrows, which represent the ICBMs, which is the intercontinental ballistic missiles, which is the thermonuclear missiles that the nations have prepared. You know, you got Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, the U.S., these nations and more have nuclear capability, which is ultimately the Lord's armory. When you go into the book of Jeremiah 50 and 25. So let's keep reading. It says, "If I whet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment," this is what's coming, is judgment, man. Right? The Lord isn't playing games with you people. When the Lord comes back, the Lord isn't coming back to walk the earth and preach the truth. That's why he have his prophets out. His prophets out in the highways and byways, which is the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's spreading this word all over the world through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shai to the Israelites. Right? So this is what the Lord is coming for. He's coming for judgment. Right? The scripture says, when I speak, it is for war. It says, I am for peace, but when I speak, it is for war. I think that's Psalms 120 and 7. Right? So it says, if I whet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies. Who is the Lord enemies? Those that are against the Israelites, and even 2/3 of you so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, the Lord are against you. You are his enemies as well. Right? And why are you his enemies as well? Because you are against him, you are contrary to him, and you are all for the world, right? 2/3 of you anyway. It says, I will render vengeance to my enemies and will reward them that hate me. You hate the Lord. Why do you hate the Lord? You hate the Lord because you come up against his ways, his path, his truth, right? And you believe in the ways, the path, and the truth of who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, right? You trust in the ways, the path, and the truth of these churches that feed you nothing but crap, right? And that's why you hate him. And it says, I will make mine arrows drunk with blood. And again, those arrows represents what? Thermonuclear missiles, right? When you go into the book of 2nd Ezra 16 and 13, let's get that, right? Let's get 2nd Ezra 16 and 13. This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 13, and the scripture says, it says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot unto the ends of the world. Now, what arrow can shoot from one end of the world to the other end of the world? Right? Go buy a bow and arrow right now from the archery store and sling that baby back like that movie Scorpion King, right? When Dwayne Johnson put that arrow far back, then he shot at that dude and dude couldn't block it. Let's see you do that, right? Let's see you pull the arrow back like the Dwayne Johnson and shoot that arrow from one continent to another continent. Let's see how far that arrow gets, right? So again, the arrow that is talking about is nuclear missiles. That's all you've been hearing on the news about this whole conflict with Russia, Ukraine, and U.S. is, will there be a nuclear attack? That's what you've been hearing. Articles been bringing that out. Alternate news, right? Russia already stated that they have missiles, nuclear missiles, that can reach from Russia to the U.S. North Korea stated the same thing. China stated the same thing, right? So this is the Lord preparing what? His weapons, his weapons of mass destruction, his armory, right? If you ever watched The Matrix, which the majority of the people should have already watched The Matrix, if you watched The Matrix when Neo was programmed to learn karate and all of that, when he was going into the building and when he fight up against the agent because he wanted to save Morpheus, right? Before they went there, Neo was in the Matrix and he was in the white room, and the white room, brought out shelves full of guns and ammo. That's the Lord's armory, man. It's just infinite amount of weapons, man. See, and this is what the Lord is preparing. This is what the Lord is preparing for the world as an all-out nuclear war, which is going to end all wars. That's going to be the end of this kingdom. That's going to be the end of what you see today. All of this concrete, these, skyscraper towers, all of these businesses, all these wicked people, this is going to be wiped out. And before that, it's going to be the mandatory MOTB, the Karagma, right? You people are going to suffer on the level that you have never experienced before, especially through a famine. The scriptures tell you it's better to die by a sword than to die by famine, man, because famine is a slow death. Your body will literally begin to eat itself. It will pull out the nutrients and the fat from your body to survive, man. Your body will literally go into survival mode and it will eat itself, man. And that's when you're gonna lose all of your reasoning. Your reasoning goes right out the window. You people gonna get to eating your kids. You people gonna try to eat your own family members. You're gonna try to eat your own flesh, right? So, what we're saying is all through the Spirit and the power of Yahweh Shema Shai, and that's what you people need to understand. You get offended, you get hurt, but these are the things that's coming to the earth, whether if you like it or not. So again, it says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. So these arrows are not going to miss. See, you go buy an arrow from the archery store and you was to shoot it, you can miss that. And it says, when they begin to be shot unto the ends of the world, behold, the plagues are sent, Zechariah 14:12, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Right? And we're going to get more on this video as well. Actually, let me read a little more, then we can end it. So it says, let me see here. There's also another scripture I wanted to grab in the book of Psalms before we end it. Let's get another one in the book of Psalms. Right, Salakia, bear with me for a second. Let me see. Right, this is the book of Psalms 64:7. And it says, let me see. It says, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. right? So is the Most High going to be in the heavens and he's going to draw back his arrow, let go, and then he's going to shoot at them? No, nah, man. How is he going to shoot at them? He's going to shoot at them by way of the other nations. See, this is what's coming. It's all out thermonuclear war, right? So we're bringing out these prophecies because it's in our spirit to do so, man, right? And to warn the people. Our job is to warn the children of Israel, which is the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, whose lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Because not all so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans that look, as such, goes back to that lineage. Some of you that look like so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, lineage goes back to Esau, Edom, Ammon, Moab, Ishmael. If you understand what I'm saying. So it says, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So let's get this in the book of Psalm 7 and 12 real quick. Right? Psalm 7 and 12. And the scripture says, if he turn not, he will whet his sword. He have bent his bow and made it ready. He have also prepared for him the instruments of death. The instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the prosecutor. You see, why is the scriptures are constantly talking about these arrows, man? There's so many scriptures that I could pull out about arrows, fire, and brimstone, right? So many scriptures, man. So why is the scriptures constantly talking about these arrows? Matter of fact, let's get that, man. Let's get Psalms 21 and 12, right? Let's get Psalms 21 and 12. Let's pull out some more arrows, man. Right? So it says, therefore shalt thou make them turn their back. It says, when thou shalt make ready thine arrows upon thy strings against the face of them. So this is what the Lord is doing. He's preparing them arrows. Why do you think these nations are constantly, building more nuclear missiles, man? They're constantly talking about and naming them all different from the Poseidon, Satan 2. What else? You got the hypersonic missile. Man, there's so many different names for these weapons of mass destruction. The Lord gave them one name. He gave them the arrows. That's what they are. They just arrows, right? That's the name he gave. That's what he gave them. He titled them the arrows, right? He titled the fire, that burneth the oven, right? Right? So, man, hey, this is what's coming, man. You can't get past this, right? You can't get past this at all, man. Let's finish off that second Ezra real quick. So, second Ezra 16 and 14, it says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth, right? Because your firefighters isn't going to come out, right? And they're damn big red trucks trying to pull out the fire. You're not going to have Esau flying with his damn helicopters, gathering water from the lakes, trying to put these fires out. It's going to literally be impossible, man. It's going to be impossible until the Most High ordained those fires to go away. Because when this place is hit with as many missiles as Revelations, the 9th chapter talks about, there's no recovering this place unless the Lord willed it, man. So again, it says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. So there you go. And this is what's coming to the earth consistently and continually, man. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and end it from there. And say, Barakatah Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Lord willing, this is edifying. Shalom.